All right, we interrupt this stadium talk to talk about what really matters this week. Bears-Packers. Come on, let's get focused, guys. And this is a good one. Obviously, biggest game in years for the Bears. Biggest game of the season for the Packers. It is 7:20 Saturday night. Soldier Field's going to be rocking on Fox. Tom Brady back on the call, I think for like the third or fourth time this season. And checking out the lines as of Thursday morning, this is essentially a pick'em, which you do not see much in the NFL anymore. You can still find some spots where the Packers are a 1-point favorite. I saw a spot where the Bears are now a favorite, but for the most part, this is a pick'em. You look at the money lines, it's even across the board. Let's go. Over under 46.5. Of course, Packers coming off their loss to the Broncos last week, and they are 9-4-1 with that tie still behind the Bears, and that's going to definitely factor into the standings. This game will decide a lot. You guys already know from a couple weeks ago, all the coordinators. We'll get into it, but we'll skip that for now. EPA per play, the Bears up to 10th offensively. How about the defense? Moved from 21st to 13th in EPA per play just off that Browns game. That's how dominant they were. So kind of back in the middle of the pack. Green Bay's defense now 17th and probably headed down once they don't have Micah Parsons, but offensively still really good from an EPA standpoint. Jordan Love's been outstanding in those metrics all season. They are second in the league. We'll start with the Bears offense versus the Packers defense. Of course, once again, Ben Johnson versus Jeff Hafley. We saw it a couple weeks ago, and it was quite a battle. And the biggest difference, right there, no number one anymore with Micah Parsons off the field. You know, the Parsons, from a pressure standpoint, his pressure rate was second overall in the league individually. But even with that, the Packers' pressure rate, 15th. So that just shows you that even with Micah Parsons, as a team, they're only middle of the pack from a pressure standpoint, not getting a lot of help. Now they don't have Parsons. How they adjusted this is going to be fascinating. But Rashawn Gary moves in. We'll just move him over there. Kingsley Enagbare, more on the field more, and Lucas Van Ness. Seems like he's healthy again, so he'll get more opportunity. But really, these guys have not been able to create as much pressure, even collectively, as Micah Parsons. So this is a big hit. Also, a big injury in the secondary with Evan Williams likely out. It seems he sprained his MCL. It'll be interesting to see how they handle this. I'm kind of suspecting they'll move Javon Bullard, who's been playing more in the slot, back to free safety where he's played before. That would put Nate Hobbs, their big free agent signing over the offseason, who they tried to play outside and he just wasn't good, so he got benched by Valentine. I would think that would put Hobbs back on the field in the slot spot if that's the way they go. Now, we could see a lot of base personnel in this game because of the Bears' injuries. Are they going to be more 11, more 12? They had more success in 12 against the Packers a couple weeks ago. They struggled a little bit more in 11, and they have their big injuries at wide receiver, which are going to factor. Odunze, he didn't play against the Packers last time. Doesn't look like he's going to play this week. But also, Luther Burden. I don't have him up here. This is Devin Duvernay. So how this is all handled by the Bears, I would think you'd want to get Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet on the field more. Of course, Cole Kmet's a little bit banged up too with that shot he took to the leg. So this might help the Packers a little bit sort out their secondary weaknesses because if we take Duvernay off, and obviously you'd probably just keep Zacchaeus out here with two wide receivers on the field, and then we would add 84 over here with two tight ends. All right, that would, as I fumble with the markers, I'm going to work on our marker juggling a little bit better. That would put Isaiah McDuffie, who's a pretty good player, on the field in base personnel for the Packers, and then avoid them having to have Hobbs out here. You'd almost certainly see Bullard back at safety in base personnel, I would have to think. But this juggling with the injuries will be key. Another key injury. Did not like to see DeAndre Swift pop up on the injury report yesterday with that groin, something that bothered him earlier in the season. That would be big, something to monitor, certainly when the last injury report comes out. Right now, that's not out as we're filming this. Moving to the other side of the ball, Packers offense versus the Bears defense. Again, injuries and personnel are going to be big. Zach Tom, out. We think, right? We think he's going to be out. It certainly seemed like it with his knee injury last week. What they do here, they really don't have a right tackle. Do they go with Jordan Morgan, their first-round pick from a year ago? Well, he struggled there. Seems like he's better inside right now. He's a backup. Darian Kennard, same thing. Seems to be better at guard, but he's the one that came in at right tackle last week, but he struggled when he went in there, and he got banged up. He's on the injury report. Do they move Belton from right guard over? Maybe they slide Jordan Morgan in at guard at that point, but Belton, same thing, has been better at guard than outside at tackle. So their right tackle situation seems like a big problem. Meanwhile, Christian Watson seems like he's going to play. Kind of surprisingly with that shoulder, but he was out there practicing yesterday. Probably a pain tolerance issue. So we'll see, does he go the whole game? Does he get dinged up during the game? But I have a feeling right now it seems like he's going to give it a go. Josh Jacobs' injury is certainly something to watch as well. And then with the Bears, are they going to get Tremaine Edmunds back? And if so, who gets the green dot? Because DeMarco Jackson has had the green dot, and he's been playing more of the mic. Remember earlier in the season, though, when Edmunds was out there, he was playing Will, and TJ Edwards was playing the mic. So how they juggle that, I don't think they want to take DeMarco Jackson off the field, but maybe he's in there at Sam. I guess it's a good problem to have, but who's handling the green dot here out of these three guys? Who's playing which position? How they sort that all out? Dennis Allen's been dealing with this stuff every single week. It's been fun to watch, and he seems to always have a solution. Big key, just don't give up the explosives to Jordan Love. It's going to be a great game. Can't wait for Saturday night. We're going to have you covered all weekend on CHGO.